Hello and welcome, Thomas fans, to another wonderful day on Sodor. And welcome too to my good friend Stan. What are we looking at today, Stan?
Well, Nigel, we'll be looking at a small selection of the accidents and near crashes that happen on the railway here on Sodor.
Exciting stuff. You know, it always amazes me, Stan, how so many things can go wrong on such a small railway.
Well, it may be a small railway, Nigel, but it has many engines. It's like the saying, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the broth.
And of course, too many engines in the kitchen won't be making an omelette without breaking some eggs. Do you like omelettes, Stan?
No.
Me either. Let's get back to the show and look at some of these exciting highlights, shall we?
Yes, well, here's Hero working hard as usual, totally unaware that he's picked up some extra cargo in the form of a giant globe.
Doesn't look happy, does he, Stan? You could almost say he looks like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Oh, and the globe was smacked straight into the signal box, Stan. And there's young Simon the signalman, scared out of his wits. Eric and Sylvie's youngest, Stan. Lovely lad.
As I suspected, the ball is rolling along the main line, heading for trouble.
You don't know Eric and Sylvie, Stan?
Let's stop right in front of the tunnel, and here comes someone. It looks like James, Nigel.
Oh, my! James has bumped that globe with his head. It's out of this world.
Well, here, Nigel, we can see our two favourite engines pushing a long line of freight cars. But if we pause the picture for a second, can you tell me what's wrong with this setup?
They're, I don't know. No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Sorry, the engines are at the top of a hill with no engine or brake van at the front to slow them down.
I said not to tell me. Oh, and there they go. What's going to happen next? Well, I think we all know what's going to happen. They're going to have a crash.
They are going to have a crash.
Yes, and poor Stephen will have to move quickly to get away from this runaway train. And look at Stephen go. That's why they call him the Rocket Stand Kapow.
But now we turn our attention back to James, the number 5 red engine on the railway.
Yes, now James likes to boast about looking the most splendid, doesn't he? But he does get messy from time to time. And let's have a look, see what happens here.
He's approaching that puddle.
Oh, strike one. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Strike two, yeah. Oh, strike 3, and you're out.
Oh, poor James doesn't know what to do.
Here's a thought, Stan. What if we didn't have any crashes or accidents on Sodor? Would it be a wonderful world?
Well, actually, Nigel,
Well, in my eyes, Stan, it would be an uneventful world. So as long as no one gets hurt, let's keep those crashes coming, eh? Crash, bang, what a picture. What a photograph.
Goodbye.
Hello and welcome, Thomas fans, to another Top 5 Sodor Moments. And welcome to my good friend Stan.
Hello, Nigel. So, what are we looking at today?
Today, Stan, we're counting down the top 5 engine rebuilds, repaints and repairs.
Sounds very exciting. Let's get cracking, shall we?
Well, straight in at number 5 is Glyn.
Yes, now, Glyn's not a new engine, is he, Nigel? In fact, he's very old.
That's right, Stan. He's almost as old as Stephen. Glyn was forgotten,
Neglected.
abandoned,
Ignored.
until he was discovered by Marion.
Well, not exactly discovered, Nigel. At first, Marion thought Glyn was a talking tree.
Quite right, Stan. It was actually Thomas and Percy who rescued him, and now Glyn is fully repaired and works for Sir Robert Norramby.
Also known as the Earl of Sodor.
Yes, and he has a new and exciting career up there at Ulfstead Castle.
Smashing.
In at number 4 is James.
Oh, yes. Now, James has had quite a transformation. A repair, rebuild and a repaint all in one go.
You tell me more.
It was after an accident which involved James's wooden brakes catching fire.
Ooh, looks nasty.
It certainly was, Nigel, but this story has a happy ending. James was rebuilt with new metal brakes that don't catch fire.
And he was repainted his splendid shiny red. Very smart.
James certainly thinks so. So, Nigel, who's in at number 3?
At number 3, it's Stephen. Stephen arrived in a crate.
In a crate? Are you sure about that, Nigel?
I'm positive, Stan. He arrived in a crate and was completely rebuilt back to his former glory.
Yes, we're looking at a very special engine here, Nigel. In his day, Stephen was the fastest engine in the world.
He went like the rocket.
Stephen by name, Rocket by nature.
And in at number 2 is Gordon.
Oh, yes. Gordon was redesigned with special streamlining, which helped him go faster.
Gordon was renamed the Shooting Star.
And did he go faster and win the race like a shooting star?
Sadly not, Stan. In fact, he broke down about halfway through.
Oh, that looks like quite a breakdown. Well, that only leaves one more spot, Nigel, the number one spot. And it goes to...
It goes to a very cheeky engine that was once green.
Oh, I'm with you, Nigel. There can be only one number one engine.
That's right, Stan. Thomas!
Who else could it be?
Thomas was repainted to his legendary blue.
And was made Sir Topham Hatt's number one engine. Oh, it brings tears to my eyes, Nigel.
Yes, it's a heartwarming story of a very famous, very useful number one engine.
You know what, Nigel? Someone should write a book about him.
I think someone already did, Stan.
Smashing. I knew that. Well, until next time, then.
When we see you again for more Top 5 Sodor moments.
Super.
Reverend somebody, wasn't it? Hello and welcome, Thomas fans, to another wonderful day on Sodor. And welcome to you too, Stan.
Hello, Nigel.
It's a glorious morning, isn't it? What could go wrong?
Indeed, Nigel. It's that million-dollar question.
Can I phone a friend?
No.
Oh. Well, today we're going to be looking at how the railway is run. We'll be spending some time with the man in charge, the controller of the railway himself, Sir Topham Hatt.
That's right, Nigel. A formidable figure in the world of steam in more ways than one.
Let's take a look at some highlights, shall we?
Yes, well, here we can see our number one tank engine, Thomas, and he's carrying a rather overfilled barrel full of what looks like an oily liquid.
Intriguing. Do carry on.
Yes, it's probably...
Oh, and there's the proof! He spilled some on the road. Surely this will lead to some kind of disaster.
You're right there, Nigel. And who's this heading our way in the blue car? It's the man himself, Sir Topham Hatt.
And there they go! It's a full textbook 360 there. Slippery road causes confusion and delay, classic Thomas. And Sir Topham Hatt didn't see that coming. And I'd like to point out for our viewers that the clown is in fact none other than Mr. Bubbles of Bubbles fame.
Textbook clown.
Now, this looks serious, Stan. Tell me a little bit about what we're witnessing here.
Yes, well, that's right, Nigel. There's nothing funny about a big balloon on a flatbed.
I'm not laughing, Stan.
Nope, it's a very tricky manoeuvre to move one balloon on a flatbed to a destination. I can't stress enough how important it is to have two full-grown tank engines in charge, Nigel.
And they right there are two of the best, Stan.
Indeed they are.
Oh, wait! It seems the balloon has escaped and it's flying around of its own accord!
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Tricky things, balloons.
Oh, my! And now it's knocked the hats off the Topham Hatt!
Thomas must feel deflated.
I'm still not laughing. And here comes Hero, master of the railway, heading straight towards the controller of the railway. And milk churns are flying. I can't want three, Stan.
That's right, Nigel. 3 milk churns full of what must be heavy, sticky double cream. That's not going to be easy to wash out.
Well, nothing less than a 60-degree wash cycle is going to erase this day of troubles from Sir Topham Hatt's memoirs. It's just another day in the life of Sir Topham Hatt, full of confusion and delay. So, until next time, Thomas fans, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from... He's gone. Stan's gone. Stan?
No, I haven't.
Welcome once again, Thomas fans, to another wonderful day on Sodor. And here to entertain us with his outstanding knowledge of Sodor is my good friend Stan.
Hello, Nigel.
Now, Stan, I'm intrigued to find out what you have in store for us this week.
Well, Nigel, I thought we could take a look at some of the special cargo that the engines of Sodor have to carry, in particular, livestock.
Oh, do you mean animals, Stan?
Indeed I do, Nigel. Sodor has a large variety of animals in its large farming community, as well as lots of animals that live in the wild.
Well, let's take a look at them all, shall we?
Yes, well, I think we'll start with some feathery friends, Nigel. Here we see Thomas collecting some chickens at Farmer McColl's farm.
Oh, lovely chickens and their lovely eggs. It's that old conundrum, Stan. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I've no idea, Nigel, but here's Cranky dropping a crate of chickens.
Oh, Cranky's fouled that up, hasn't he?
Well, now the engines are often tasked with collecting and delivering Farmer McColl's prize sheep.
Delightful creatures, Stan, like little fluffy balls of cotton wool.
Oh, McColl's farm also has a fine herd of cows, which supplies the island with milk and other dairy produce.
And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Farmer McColl own a prize bull?
Oh, indeed he does, Nigel. The same one that gave Sir Topham Hatt a little fright.
Oh, my, look at him go. I don't think I've ever seen Sir Topham Hatt move that fast before.
But, you know, Farmer McColl isn't the only farmer on Sodor.
Really?
Really? There is also Farmer Trotter, who runs a pig farm.
How aptly named, Stan. Next you'll be telling me there's a fish farmer called Farmer Pike.
No, Nigel, there aren't any fish farmers.
Or not.
But there's also a large variety of wild animals that inhabit the island. There's the very rare great warbler. There's rabbits, some deer, squirrels and ducks.
And elephants.
Yes, well, maybe in the animal park, Nigel, but I don't think you'll find an elephant in the wild on Sodor.
That's where you're wrong, Stan. I've heard of many occasions where engines have had a run-in with a wild elephant.
Yes, but they...
There was that time with Henry and the elephant that got stuck in the tunnel.
I know, but...
And that time Charlie came face to face with an elephant out on the tracks.
Yes, but they were both elephants that escaped from the animal park and the circus. They don't live in the wild, Nigel.
Oh. Well, how about the dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs? Dinosaurs!
Stan! Stan! It's just a model. How odd, he's not normally one to overreact. Hello and welcome, Thomas fans, to another Top 5 Sodor Moments. And welcome to my good friend Stan.
Hello, Nigel. So, what are we looking at today?
Today, Stan, we're looking at the Top 5 engine breakdowns.
Ah, you mean the times when our engines cause confusion and delay through no fault of their own?
Indeed.
Well, straight in at number 5 is Harold.
Harold's not an engine, Stan.
No, Nigel, but he is part of Sir Topham Hatt's team.
And he is really useful, especially in an emergency.
Absolutely. But one day, when his rotor blades jammed, Thomas and Duck had to take him back to the search and rescue centre by rail.
Oh, how exciting. Was this Harold's first journey by rail?
It certainly was, Nigel, but helicopters aren't meant to travel by rail.
You're right, Stan. They have trouble buying a ticket. And getting onto the platform and getting served in the buffet car and getting a seat.
Well, let's just say I think Harold was pleased to be back in the air, shall we?
And flying in at number 4 is Percy.
Percy! Fizzly fireboxes.
Well, it wasn't fizzling fireboxes after Percy ran into deep water at the quarry and his firebox went out.
You could say a bit of a washout for Percy then.
And then, when Diesel tried to rescue Percy, water got into his generator.
So, we've got 2 breakdowns for the price of 1.
What a bargain. Are there 3 breakdowns next?
Let's not get carried away, Nigel. At number 3 is Hero.
Ah, yes. Hero by name and hero by nature.
But this time, it was Henry who was the hero. After some bad coal caused his pipes to get blocked, Hero literally ran out of steam.
And did Henry help Hero up that high hill?
Absolutely.
Hooray! What a hero!
Gripping stuff, these countdowns.
But not for our number 2, Caitlin.
That's right, Nigel. Caitlin's brakes failed on the way down Ulfstead Hill.
Very nasty. And was Henry there to save her?
No.
Hero?
No. As you can see this time, it was Emily. She cleverly used her own brakes to slow Caitlin down.
Tricky manoeuvre, but beautifully handled.
You know, Nigel, if you're going to break down, it's always good to have your friends there to help you.
Very true, Stan.
But for our number 1 engine breakdown, even that didn't help.
That's right. Paul Gordon was winning the great race when disaster struck and he broke down.
He certainly did. And what a breakdown it was. But he wouldn't have broken down if he'd listened to his friends.
There's a moral in there somewhere, Stan, but at the moment I just can't think of it.
If you're going to break down, it's always good to have your friends there to help you.
Oh, that's a good one, Stan. Let's write it down in case we forget. Have you got a pen?
No.
Chalk?
Well, until next time.
When we see you again for more Top 5 Sodor Moments.
Oh, I've just found a pencil. Will that do?
Great! You got any paper?